You know, COVID has turned the work of being in a hospital completely on its head. When the pandemic started, I'll just be really transparent with you guys, we were all really scared. We knew we were going to still do the work. We knew we were going to have people with COVID in Sonoma County and in Santa Rosa, and I work at Santa Rosa Memorial Hospital, so we get people from the Oregon border all the way down to Marin. They all come to Santa Rosa Memorial. We're like, we're going to get COVID patients. It's going to happen. You know, I have friends all around the country. We're all on the phone and we're all on Twitter like, hey, what's going on? What's working? What medicines are working? How are you taking care of yourselves? It was scary. When I was seeing patients in the hospital, especially if I was seeing COVID patients, when I would come home, usually I would just walk in the house. Hey, grab my boy, come give him a hug, give my wife a hug and a kiss, pet the dog. It stopped. I would come home, I would dunk my shoes in bleach, take them off, set them aside. I would take my clothes off all in the garage. I would go straight into the house. My wife knew, like, hold on to my son so he wouldn't run to me. I get emotional just talking about this. So he wouldn't run to me. I would wave to them and say hi, and then I'd go right into the shower. And I would just, like, as hot as I could tolerate it, soap and water, scrub, get dressed, come out, and then I could hang out with the family. And every doctor, every nurse, every physical therapist, everyone that worked in the hospital across the world, that's what we were all having to do. It was hard. I want to get home, I want to grab my boy. But we got used to it. We're all resilient. We got used to it. It's part of the routine. Wearing the mask wasn't a problem for us because a lot of times we're wearing masks anyways. We're really fortunate in Sonoma County. We didn't have shortages of the equipment that we used to help take care of us. So when I would take care of COVID patients, I would have either that, you've probably heard of the N95 mask, or I would have this thing called a capper helmet. It's an abbreviation. I look like an astronaut. It's a giant astronaut helmet with a visor across the front, which is cool. I wouldn't have to have my mask on. So the patients could actually see me, but it's blowing air out, which is what keeps the viral particles from getting into my eyes or my mouth. And so I would hear this constant, so it's super loud. So I'm yelling at this patient and they're like, dude, dial it down, Shapiro. Like, what? Why are you shouting? It's just so I could hear them. But the equipment worked, and thankfully I never got COVID. But it was super hard. It was a huge challenge. It really was. And it still is. I was taking care of COVID patients yesterday. Being vaccinated made a huge difference for all of us. Just knowing, look, we're going to still be smart. We're going to still wear our equipment. We're going to still do all of the right hygiene stuff. I'm still going to get home and be super careful. But I also know that my equipment works. And now I know that I've had a vaccine that is safe and effective. I feel a whole lot more confident. That comes up a lot. It comes up every day, honestly, and I'm not exaggerating. Being inside a hospital is scary. It's hard. And one of the things that was particularly hard, especially during COVID, is we didn't allow visitors into the hospital. Normally, visitors are allowed. For about a year, there were no visitors allowed in the hospital at all, period. Anywhere, not just in Santa Rosa, anywhere. That's hard. Now you're by yourself, and everyone's wearing a mask, and it's tough. And then we're saying, hey, we want to do this procedure. We want to give you this injection. We're recommending this thing. No, I don't want to do that. I don't understand that. Part of the art of doing this job, part of the privilege that comes with being a doctor is you will build and practice and continually work to get better at communicating. How do we communicate effectively so that people feel like we have shared decision-making, shared understanding, and shared goals, as opposed to me just telling you, we're doing this and you're going to do it because I say so. That is not effective communication, especially with someone who's scared. They're going to say, no, I'm not. But if we can sit down and say, help me understand what are your priorities, help me understand what are you the most anxious about, help me understand how can I be of the most support to you, and then I can say, well, cool, to help meet those goals, I suggest we think about this procedure. Let me tell you a little bit about it, and then we'll do this. That kind of thing is a lot more effective. But that question about when people are resistant to what we suggest in the hospital, every single day. Every day. It's part of the job. And you have to really learn to develop those communication skills so that you can support that person to do what you think, based on science and evidence, is going to help them the most. I'm a huge supporter of it. I think it's great. I'm a huge supporter. The vaccines are safe. The vaccines are effective. And I say that, I'm not just like quoting something that I saw in the newspaper. I have a good understanding of the testing processes and the evaluation processes for any sort of medication or medical device that's going to affect the public. You have to demonstrate rigorously, again, first do no harm, that this thing is safe. If it's not safe, it's not going anywhere. And that process happens way, 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 way upstream. It happens in a place that we don't see. It happens in the lab. It happens in very controlled environments. It ain't safe. It's out the door. To get to the place where we're saying this is now safe to vaccinate the next generation of Americans, that process is extraordinarily rigorous. Extraordinarily rigorous. Because the stakes could not be higher. The future of the United States rides on them saying we're going to vaccinate 12 to 15-year-olds. And the process by which we do it and the people who do it, that's the smartest group. Those are the people who are the best trained, the people who do it for the right reasons, whose intentions are to make sure our communities and our country, our population can thrive to the best of their ability, right? You remember what it says in the Declaration of Independence, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? That's what we can all aspire to, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Vaccinating the next generation of Americans allows us to move towards life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So yes, I am a huge supporter of it, because to get to that point, it's not luck, it's not an accident, it's not a coincidence. They are safe and they are effective. Yes, for sure. In a number of ways. One of them that I've come to realize more than ever, being in the profession that I'm in, where we all kind of know each other, and then moving back to my hometown after leaving. I left Santa Rosa in 1994 to go to college, and I moved back in 2016. We are all so connected to each other. It is so important to treat people with respect and to be nice to people and to be kind and to avoid the negative behaviors that can hurt somebody, because man, we all know each other. And 25 years later, you'll apply for a job, and the person that you're meeting with for an interview, you went to high school with them. One of my colleagues at the hospital that I work with very closely, he's a neurosurgeon. I drove him to his first day of high school. College, I went to UCLA. It's a huge school. Doesn't matter. I keep running into people that I went to college with to interact with and be like, hey, I have this cool opportunity. Do you want to do it? If they say, you know what, I knew Shapiro when he was 19 and he wasn't nice to me, I don't want to work with him now. That's a problem for me now, right, as a 45-year-old. So I have really learned over the last kind of 20, 25 years that, boy, am I glad that I had parents and a community that had high expectations of behavior and conduct to help me understand that this is the right way to treat people and this is the way we function in a community. A, because it's the right way, but boy, man, you meet these people again in your life and it's like, hey, nice to see you, or it's you again. Which road do you want to walk?
Hi, I'm Patrick Sutton-Gerstein.
Hi, I'm Celeste Holland.
Hi, I'm Ellie Macias.
Hello, I am Sophie Bartlett.
Hello, I am James Pauletta.
Hi, I'm Maria Caddy.
I am Cooper Meyer.
Hi, I'm Ruby Adams.
Hi, I'm Jackson Rivas.
And I'm Abigail Warren.